Hello, greetings and welcome. Queen City Psychic Medium here, doing business as Cincy Psychic LLC. And in this video, I have what I believe is a very interesting topic that I'd like to discuss. At least it is for me. So we will discuss psychic abilities, mediumship abilities, and what really intrigues me, schizophrenia. Yeah, that's right. We're going to dabble into schizophrenia here, because the first thing that I do want to say here with all of it, it's a thin line, a thin line. It's a strand. It's a cord. It's a channel, okay, to your mind. All right. And I'm not sure if I ever shared with you when I first met Dottie Aslam, and if I'm saying her last name correctly, Aslam. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter, does it? Okay, so it kind of does. But anyway, so she is passed into spirit at this point, lived a long life, like 80s or 90s. And she was a woman that was born being able to see auras, okay? And she was from Columbus, and she used to work the Columbus Psychic Fairs, and she used to have spiritual retreats. And when I first met her, I'm going to skip through some of the personal stuff, but what's important here for this video is she knew that I was a psychic. She saw my tribal guide guy, and I call him Brown Man. And when she told me about him, I was skeptic because, you know, if I was going to pick a guide, okay, and I know this is ego with it, okay, but if I was going to pick a guide, I'd pick some, badass, Indian dude, tribal Indian dude, okay, with, like the long hair, man, and the big staff, and, just really buff. I mean, that's what I would choose if I were going to pick, my protector, right? Maybe, right? I don't know. But I think that's where most people would go when you're looking for a protector. But my dude was a skinny little brown man with a staff that stood right beside me. She said he was about like yo tall. And I did end up seeing him years later when I forgot what she had told me. And he was about the same height as well when I saw him in the room. Flesh, blood, breathing, solvent looking, blew my freaking mind. I actually said, because it shocked me. And then when I did that, he faded because I lost the connection. All right. So Dottie Aslam, when I met her, she asked me right off the bat if I would come work her spiritual retreat doing readings. And of course I said, no, I was not ready for that at that time. And I was really busy being a mom. And that was the most important thing for me, because I believe that, when we have a kid, we really need to focus on being a mother first, right? That's what I believe anyway. If you can stay home with your kid, that's great, okay? So anyway, she saw all these cords coming off the right side of my head. And she said there was so many cords, so many strands coming off the right side of my head that she was surprised I was not locked up in a loony bin. And that's exactly how she worded it, okay? And I wasn't offended. I'm not easily offended anyway. Because I'm not that emotionally insecure and immature and unstable. Okay, so that really did resonate with me with the chords, because all my life as a child, and you will notice this with yourself and with other people. So if you're looking to develop your abilities, please pay attention, because my entire life when I'm getting something, we go like this. The head goes to the right. Okay. The eyes go to the right. Okay. It goes here. And I do want to explain something very, very quickly here that will help a lot of people. Because when we talk about focus, just like in my video, when I talk about coming to do your reading, don't get locked in. I think I'm focused on this, because what you just did is you cut so much more out. Okay. So like when it comes with focus, with psychic abilities, there is an unfocus with it. That's the best way that I can explain it, which is why the eyes go into an unfocus. So when I'm sitting here and I'm reading someone, okay, and what you see right here is exactly where it happens and where I'm sitting, okay, and we're directly across from me, just like you're seeing me in the video. And so my readings are not like looking at them. and you know, it's the eyes go into an unfocus from the 3D Earth plane. Okay, you can call it a planet. I call it a plane because I disagree with some things with that. That's a whole nother video. Okay, so my eyes will do this. Okay, when I'm reading. All right, now back to the channels. I'm at the point now where I don't have to be always over here. I can go over here. Dead smack in the middle is the awesome best. It really, really is. That's when it's so super clear. They move around too. You'll see that window move around with that channel. You got to get the channel grabbed first. Okay. So just flow with the focus and with the, you know, see, I just really don't know how to explain it other than it's a focus, but we go into being so open, we're not locked, okay, into this one focus. So we just kind of ride the wave and grab the channel, okay? All right? Now, I'm talking about psychic stuff here for now, all right? So what we do with psychic abilities, okay, is we are connecting to the Akashic records, super consciousness, okay? Because everything, believe it or not, it doesn't matter what you believe, doesn't matter what I believe, because in the end, it does not change the truth, people, okay? And I knew when I was a teenager that when I died, I got to know everything there is to know. And I would share that with people from like age 15 to age 25 or so, okay? Because what I didn't realize with that is everything is recorded. You never, ever, ever get away with anything. In the end, it's all there. It's all exposed, okay? You own it, baby. You own it, okay? All right. Sorry, I get comfortable. It's cool, right? Okay. So, the psychic ability thing, you are tapping what's there, okay? Super consciousness, the Akashic records, okay? Telepathic stuff, that's the psychic thing, okay? Higher self, the other person's higher self, spirit. Now, with that, okay, it's a thin line with mediumship. It's a thin line still with mediumship. Because mediumship, we are speaking now. Okay, let me back up here. The definition of a psychic, some people seem to think the definition of a psychic is everything, is somebody that knows every freaking thing there is to know. No, that's not what the definition is. The definition is someone that can see the future, the present, and the past. Okay? They're just tapping it, man. They're just tapping the Akashic records, okay? All right, so that's the definition of a psychic. Now, a medium is someone that talks to spirits, okay? So people that have passed in the spirit, they also talk to multidimensional beings, beings that have never, ever been human, never been born in the 3D earth plane, okay? All right? And then there's guides, which they can be your family members. They can be family members you've never met. My grandmothers, my maternal grandmother came through for years and guided me and talked to me and told me things. After she passed, it was like she was relieved or something, because about 8 months after my father's mother died, my paternal grandmother, she came. She's still hanging. She still hangs with me. But she died in 2015. This is 2020. Sorry, I just got interrupted. My mother. The reason I slipped and said 2018 is because my mother is also with me. She died in 2018. Okay, they just let me know. Don't forget your mother is also one of my guides right now. But I have many guides, and I did a video on that for if you want to connect with your guides. Okay, so the thin line between with mediumship is that we can talk to people in spirit, which is mediumship, but then we also talk to guides, which is also a psychic thing too. So it's very, very thin lines, okay? And it can be hard to distinguish what's happening. And I'm going to tell you, man, don't get caught up into trying to break stuff down. Okay, because you're just wasting your time. You're wasting your energy, because the truth is, your higher self is taking care of you, baby. Your higher self is, okay, as long as you do not get caught up too much into the drama on the earth plane here, okay? Because Antichrist is alive and well. I'm sorry, but it's true. So we do want to protect ourselves. So we do not want to get caught up into drugs, alcohol, drama, lies, anything that's not good for you, okay? We want to vibrate on the highest level possible, and you will be guided. Let go and let Great Spirit. So I did want to go ahead and talk about that and kind of break that down. It's a very, very thin line from mediumship to psychic abilities. And so now at night when you're sleeping, a lot of you are hanging out with people in spirit. They come and they get you, your loved ones, and your angels and guides, okay? So, and then we come back, into our bodies. And I do want to go ahead and cover, when we leave our bodies, we leave through the crown. I have felt it, okay? And I've actually felt attachments when I was young and not wise enough yet, because I was skeptical. Because I'm like, show me, change my mind, prove it to me kind of a person. I am. My rising is Sagittarius, though. So anybody that knows a little bit about astrology, and I don't know that much, okay, they'll understand why I say, prove it to me, show me. I don't know. Okay, and I question everything. Okay, the people that know astrology will understand that. Okay, so anyway, I kind of lost track of where I was. All right, sorry. I know I did move into the analytical thing of questioning everything. But you should question things to a point. But my point was, let go and let God, and I was into the sleeping thing, okay? Because you are guided at night when you sleep. We are in 3D, right? And when we're dreaming, we dream in 4D. It gets more angelic with the 5D. I don't really want to go on into anything above the fifth dimension, because I don't feel that I'm qualified to, okay? So maybe sometime. I did talk about dimensions and how they told me there was 9 dimensions that we deal with, that we are plugged into. Oh, by the way, I do want to say, today is day 7 of no television. Unplugged, 7 days now. All right, yay. Because I can't take it anymore with the lies, okay? All right, so I did want to break that down with the mediumship thing and stuff. And I do want to go ahead and say this. When you wake up in the morning, early hours, and you're coming out of that meditative state, y'all ever hear a pop or, a bang or slam or a noise? Okay, I do believe what that is you coming back in your body. And I am going to do a whole video on that, because after I had a baby, nothing ever woke me up before. You could not wake me up, man, when I was sleeping until I had a baby. Immediately after I had a baby, any and every little noise woke me up. And I would not be back in my body when I would wake up, so I would be frozen. And it would hurt. It would hurt. So you leave through the crown of your head, and when you come back in the chest, all right? And I would, so a noise would wake me up, because I knew I had to protect my baby, right? And so I'd go, and I wouldn't be back in my body. And my chest would hurt, oh my God, so bad. I thought I was having a heart attack or dying. And I'd try to lift my arms to grab my chest, and I would try to speak. And I couldn't get my arms up all the way, and I couldn't talk, and I'd go, okay, and my mother had seen me do it. My husband has seen me do it. And I couldn't even grab the phone to call 911 because I would try to do that. And I had that happen so many times. And I'm going to do a video on that. I'm going to teach you how to pull out of it, okay? Because it's painful, man, all right? So I'm going to teach you how to pull out of it. I'm going to tell you right now, you just relax and you breathe. And don't fight it. Don't fight it. Don't grab. Don't go, oh my God, I'm dying or anything. Just pull out of it, okay? Just relax. All right. So let's get to the really, really interesting part here. Schizophrenia. Man, that is a very intriguing topic for me. Okay? And I'm sure, absolutely, of course, it's because of my life and the things that I experienced. All right, let me get a drink of water. All righty. I love my water. I flavor it, so it's so good. I don't like plain water anymore. I have to flavor it now. But the good news is I flavor it with minerals, so I'm getting nutrition. Okay, because it is body, mind, and spirit, and it does start with body, and we're going to do a video about that too. Because if you can't take care of body, you ain't going to take care of spirit and mind. Okay? Alrighty. Schizophrenia. Alrighty. Before I move into what I'm going to share about what I know, I would like to share what I experienced. Okay? So when I was a little kid, I would talk to people and I would see people and I would see spirits in the house as we moved. Well, I don't think we stayed anywhere for more than 6 months until I was like about 4. Okay, when my parents finally realized it's not poltergeist, it's the kid. So no point in moving because it's going with you. Okay, so I mean that was just normal to me. All right, and most of them were see-through, and most of them were clouds. All right, you know, like clouds, like a haze, a mist. All right, so I don't write scripts for this. I don't make notes. I just hop on here and do my videos in my spare time, hoping to help people, okay? And I have faith that I do reach the right people. My star seeds, my fellow star seeds, right? I call you guys the others, okay? So, and I'm going to do a video on that too. All right. So, man. All right. So I'm going to go with age 12 because that's when it really kicked in. And that was my Ouija board year, which I got to do a video on that too. Stay away from the Ouija board, okay? Don't go near one, ever. Don't let one in your house, okay? All righty. So, I'm like 12, and I don't remember which order it went in, so I'll start with the dude in our house. My mother had a little Amway meeting. It was a Cape Cod house at the end of Grand Avenue by the Incline District in Price Hill. I'm sorry. I just had a little bit of indigestion there. Excuse me. Life happens, baby. Right? We deal with it. No, I didn't hit pause. All right. All right. So back when, because I love that little house. Okay. We had a lot of activity there too. So anyway, so it was a Cape Cod. So the second floor was just one big room. My sister and I shared the bedroom. It had a little bathroom. I walked out of the bathroom. There was a dude standing on the stairs. Okay. It was divided steps. So you came up on one end, turned on the landing, came up on the other end. There's the bathroom door. I open it, walk out. There was books lining the wall. The dude was looking at the books. He had like a red hair. It was almost kind of punk rock a little bit, I thought. He was thin, stylish or whatever happening. I don't know. Probably from the UK or something with the way he was dressed. I don't know. Okay. So anyway, I thought it was a company that my mother had. And I walked out and I saw him and I was shocked because I wouldn't expect that. I would think my mother would tell me if she's going to allow somebody to start walking up the steps. I was bothered by that. Okay? Because that was unlike her because she was a very private person. And so I said, you know, a little shocked. And I said, how's it going? And I was glad I was fully dressed walking out of my bathroom. Okay? So I went ahead and turned to the right, grabbed my things because I was going to go to my friend's house, my neighbor's house, and he was gone. And he looked at me like he was shocked. I forgot to throw that in. Like, he didn't say anything back. He just went, okay, like I shocked him. Okay, like I startled him. So I went on downstairs, and the people were leaving, and so I said to my mom, who was that redheaded man, and why did you let him up the steps without telling me? And she said, what red-headed man? And she mentioned a dude named Rick. which my parents had known. And I still kind of know because he had like a reddish hair, but it was like curly. And I went, no, it's not Rick. It wasn't Rick. And so anyway, my mom checked the house. She's a little concerned. And so I went and did my thing. That's it. All right. So flash to the next time. I'm talking to my friend, same friend that I went to her house at the time that I saw the redhead dude. And we're in my backyard on the patio. And I look over to my left towards her house. And I see these two children, a boy and a girl. And they were dressed in like church clothes that people back then would dress up in like church clothes, dressy clothes to go to church. This was the 70s. And they were lying in the dirt and they were doing this thing like this, like they were making angels with their arms, like snow angels, right? And I looked to my left and I saw them, and I knew her nephew and niece. Okay, so I went, "You two, what are you doing? Get out of the dirt!" And I turned to her and went, "Do you see this?" And she looked, and I looked back, and no one was there. They didn't have time to get up and get over the fence. And I went, "Oh my God." And I said, what's going on? And I told her what I saw. And that was the first time I thought, am I nuts? Am I crazy? Why am I seeing people for a moment? And I turned my head and I turned back and they're gone. And she doesn't see them. Okay? And she's like, "No, Melissa, you're not nuts. You're psychic. That's all." Because everybody around me knew I was a psychic except for really me. Because I was just me. And to me, I thought, if I was a psychic, I know everything there is to know. Every single freaking thing there is to know. And maybe, just maybe, my fantasy, if I was like the psychic like that, I just sped up time and just moved it forward, okay, and got past it. Because to me, it feels like this play has already been written. We're just the actors and actresses playing the roles. That's what it feels to me a lot here. It does. And sometimes I feel like I'm in a computer. And then I got some other weird stuff where it feels like I'm in a computer and I'm being watched sometimes when I go into certain meditative states. That would be a whole nother video. Okay, so the schizophrenia. So, can you imagine? I know some of the people watching my videos have experienced some of the stuff that I'm talking about here. Okay, that's why I'm glad to share. Because when I went through all this, I had nobody to share it with. There was no internet. Okay, until Reagan came along, if you talk to people about this kind of stuff, they might lock your ass up. I don't think that was ever going to happen to me because I was pretty accurate, too accurate for that. Yeah, and had a pretty good resume, so, I wasn't worried about that. But for people, for you to make sure, for your family to make sure that other people are comfortable around you always, lose the ability so nothing slips out of your mouth, right? Okay, there you go. Okay. When I was 15, and I did share this on a video, when I was ironing my jeans, creasing those jeans, I looked up and saw just a head, man. Just a head. That's freaky. On one hand, it's really freaky. On the other hand, he doesn't have a body, so can he chase me? But then it'd be really freaky if the head's just following you, chasing you out of the room, right? So I also had that experience, and those aren't the only ones, but I'm going to stop there with my experiences with seeing things so vividly, solvent, okay, and move on to the schizophrenic people that I have had the pleasure to meet and to read, okay? I'm going to start with my friend, Sharon Lynn, and she won't mind me saying her name. She will never see this video, probably, If you do, hi Sharon Lynn. Peace, Sharon Lynn. But I don't think she ever will because she thinks technology is evil. And I do actually sense an Antichrist vibe from it. I do. It's not good. And maybe the Antichrist vibe that I do sense from it. Why am I doing this? Is that like a, what was her name? Carol Burnett. She used to do that. With just like that. That was a hello to people. I don't know why I had to come up and grab that. My earring there. All right. Sharon Lynn. She thinks technology is evil. I think it sucks. I do. It ain't all that. You distract people with your updates, with your software updates, and it's constantly with this. Your account is not synced with your other stuff. I don't. So what? What business is it of yours? Oh, it's all your business because you spy on us all the time. I think that's probably the Antichrist part, is the ego kicking in with big tech, with trying to control. Ooh, it's going to backfire. It's going to backfire. It is. Who you talking to here? Who you looking at here? It's going to backfire. All righty. Back to the schizophrenic friend. Sharon Lynn blew my mind, people. Now, when I went to a class with a spiritualist church that no longer exists to try and get some practice after real estate crashed, and I thought, well, let me see if I can do readings on strangers. What Sharon Lynn she attended, right? Sharon Lynn attended, and she stood up and she looked at my other friend one time, and she said, okay, let me just explain this real fast. If you get involved in a spiritualist church with mediumship classes, there's politics, okay, which I have an issue with, okay, because I disagree, but I'm cool with it, all right, because I go with the flow. I don't have to agree with everything. I have discernment, okay, so I don't have to agree with everything to be cool with it, all right. So they'll tell you got 5 guides, okay, one of them's a doctor teacher. So Sharon Lynn stands up, because at that time we were supposed to be working with our doctor teachers. Sharon Lynn stands up and she says to my other friend, right, because she's reading her, my doctor teacher said your face is perfectly symmetrical. And my other friend goes, okay, that's bizarre. That's off the wall. That sounds, what, right? Who says that? Guess what my other friend was doing the night before, right? She was watching a documentary and about this, how faces are not symmetrically perfect, right? And she had a ruler out, was in the mirror doing hers, okay? And she was going, my face seems to be pretty perfect, symmetrically perfect, all right? And then Sharon Lynn went on to say some other things, but then it got kind of warped and didn't make sense, because here's what's happening with schizophrenic people. And this is what I want to explain, okay? All right, what's happening with Sharon Lynn is those channels are open. She can't close them. That's the difference between me and a schizophrenic person. When I go to the grocery store, I close it down. When I'm going through life, I close it down. When I'm walking my dog and I'm going up the street, right, and I'm in the park, I'm open. Here, I'm not even going to feel y'all right here. Okay, I'm with Great Spirit. So if Great Spirit and higher self, because the goal is to be one with higher self, always and forever, with your third eye and your third ear completely open and fully functional, okay? While at the same time you're being grounded. Because, honey, if you're not grounded, that's when you can get hurt. Unless the angels got you in their arms, and if you are involved in a multidimensional battle, then it's cool, they got you. But I don't want y'all to just think that you got that. I want you to protect yourself, okay? Okay, we got to protect ourselves. All right? Okay, so what's happening is Sharon Lynn, she's all over. She's got the channels happening. And they're, hey, what about, here's a good analogy. If we just bracket them and have them fastened and just have them flowing, right? And they're just, you know, doing their thing. I think hers are going like this, like winds blowing. Yeah, there you go. Like winds blowing or something. All right. So they're all over the place. So these, I'm going to say entities, okay? Energies, entities. So Sharon Lynn's open. So they do this. They're grabbing on. They're grabbing on. Okay? She can't shake them off. She don't know how. I'm going to sum it up to this, and this is not a judgment, and this doesn't mean anybody is better than anybody or anything like that at all, because the truth is we are all equal. We are all just learning at different times and on different levels, and I believe absolutely 100% we are here to help each other, and one of my big purposes here is to help y'all, okay? It is. It's not just about doing readings. I'm here for other reasons that I just keep to myself because I'm a channel, okay? And I'm here to help people, okay? And if I can't do that, then I don't even care to be here. There's no purpose for me if I'm not here to help people because I don't need to be self-serving in this life. I don't, okay? I've probably just already done that before, and I know better this time, okay? So I do want to share this with you too because I thought this was a trip. When I was partnered up with Sharon Lynn, because other people didn't like to have to partner up with her and stuff, and I was always cool with it. So when it was a situation where people were like, they kind of stepped over here, so they didn't end up being partnered with her, I'd just fall like over here or something, step over and be like, and the instructor would be like, they'd be like, yeah. Because I stand for the underdog. If you're an underdog, I stand up for you because it ain't right for people to push you down when you're already down, man. It ain't. People that do that got something wrong with them, man, okay? And we got to let them know that by standing up for you, okay? So anyway, I partner up with Sharon Lynn, and I'm reading her, and these are just mini readings, right? We had like 5 minutes, that's it, okay? And I'm very in-depth with my readings, okay? All right, so I'm reading her, and I'm not sure what kind of animal it is, but I know, and I tell her, I'm just going to say it like I said to her, there's this animal that grabbed you when you were a kid. It's not a domestic animal like a dog or cat, and it went like this. And she said, and I didn't understand it, but it's not for me to understand. When I read people, it's for you to understand, right? Okay. And she said, oh, wow. When I was a kid, when I was like 5, we were at the San Diego Zoo, and a monkey, she was looking at the monkeys, and a monkey reached through the bars and grabbed onto her, and they had a problem getting it off of her. And I just thought, wow. Okay. And I did put a little thought into that a couple times, but it's not my place. To judge it or try to understand. Did the monkey sense something and go, okay? Or was the monkey sensing something with her that had latched onto her? Okay. Or did the monkey do something? That's the question, right? Right? But that's for spirit to know, right? Okay. I guess we could try to sit there and channel it, but that's between her and spirit. Okay. I thought that was a trip though, that a monkey would reach out and do that. Okay. So anyway, it's a thin line between what's going on here. And it's a weak-minded person, which, I'm not saying that to put anybody down or to judge you, because we all are here to grow, and we need to help each other grow, okay? And I have to, this is so interesting, what I'm getting ready to share here next. Sharon Lynn shared with me she never had any problems with schizophrenia until immediately after giving birth. I think she said she was 36. It was like 35 or 36. Okay? One child at that age. She said when they gave her the epidural, she started hearing voices. Is that a trip? Okay. So I mentioned this to a friend of mine that's a psychologist, and he says to me, you know, that's actually common. For if women wait, I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. It's kind of scary. Gosh. When women wait to have a child until like till after their mid 30s, a lot of them end up with schizophrenia. Well, no, I don't want to say a lot of them, but it happens. That's when it kicks in for a lot of women. So I found that to be very, very interesting. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed my video. I just wanted to share that I believe is a very, very thin line between psychic abilities to mediumship abilities to schizophrenia. And it is said, I do want to share this, a heart doctor in this book, and I don't really have too much time to read. I do enjoy it. So I listen to audiobooks sometimes when I can, when I'm getting ready in the morning. And this book is available on audiobook through your library card. Where I'm at, it's Overdrive is the app that I have on my phone. It's very cool. It's actually kind of confusing, though. They could have made it a lot easier. So you got to play with it a little bit, download it, and I don't know. You'll figure it out. You'll get there. But it's called Undoctored. Okay? And he talks about schizophrenia and food allergies with it, which is why very soon here I'm going to be doing a video, Body, Mind, and Spirit, because it does really, really matter. And it starts with body. But people that had grain allergies went off the grains, and the schizophrenia started clearing up a little bit. Okay? Now, my friend, they used to lock her up in Longview. It was a facility called Longview where they'd lock up mental patients. And she is well known, actually, in the psychic circle. Okay, the old school one. I don't really know about the younger ones. But if you're Generation X or older, you probably know who I'm talking about if you're in the circle. Okay, and the doctors had to admit that she was psychic. Now, here's what happens, though, okay? And it's all about vibration and frequency. She would act up. They straight jacket, yeah, all that crap, right? It pisses you off, right? And it is pretty insulting with the way they handle it. So she might come up with something like knowing the doctor has an affair with the nurse, and the nurse maybe is pregnant, get ready to have an abortion, or just whatever scenario part of that chapter that we're in. See, Sharon Lynn would know stuff like that, okay? Okay? And so they had to admit that some of the doctors in the psychic circle, too, because it did blend a little bit, had to admit that she was psychic, But here's what happens. When we get pissed, and we got that dark energy coming in, right? Because these channels are just blowing all over the place, picking up whatever, right? Okay, dark stuff comes in and it tells Sharon Lynn bad things about people. Okay, and it doesn't always have to be dark either, because also with me, when I've had people when I was younger try to mess with me, not over a psychic thing, but people that I just didn't trust, and I got some stories with you, because I have worked quite a few crimes, and I got some nationally known crimes that I am going to come on here on video, and we're going to talk about, okay? So anyway, when I've had like criminals and things, but I don't think my stuff is evil. I am warrior, and warriors do carry swords. They carry swords of light. So I will have them come through, and they'll let me know something. And it's not all kinds of stuff, okay, but it's just something to put them in their place. There's been a couple things that I've had to say to people, even strangers on the street, that I couldn't believe it even came out of my mouth, okay, because I don't even talk that way, all right? And that person was like, okay, because I said what needed to be said, and it was to protect myself and to stop them from moving forward and whatever crap they were going to try to pull. Okay? So anyway, Yeah, how would you like to have to deal with being loaded up on medications and thrown into the loony bin, right? All right. So last thing I'm going to leave you with is there are a few people that I have read that were diagnosed schizophrenic, and I don't let people tell me stuff before they come in and sit down in front of me, and I have actually started seeing and feeling the stuff that they're getting, i.e., my legs started shaking, vibrating, okay, when I was reading this, dude. All right, and there was some weird stuff coming at me. There was these black things that were, he could see them getting in his body, okay, and he had all this weird stuff going on. It was about 4 or 5 months later, I woke up one morning, I saw these black things coming up, getting in my legs. Okay, and I was so skeptical about demons and dark stuff and all that. I had to learn to protect myself. So protect yourself, people, okay? And especially if you open up to psychic stuff and you start vibrating on a higher level, tuning in, they're going to want to come at you. They are, okay? Because they're going to want to siphon your energy, okay? So I have seen stuff. And I had a woman that called me, and I felt so sorry for her. Because she was telling me about the ETs taking her and they'd be breaking her neck and all this stuff. She's not even telling me everything yet, and I could feel stuff in my body on the phone with her. That's the empath part of a psychic, okay? Just to share that. All right, so these people, what they go through is real. It's just a different reality because it is multidimensional, and it's channels. It's channels that cannot be controlled. I am grateful, gosh, that I am a warrior spirit that came in, being able to tune in multidimensional big time and control my stuff. Because I couldn't imagine being out in public, what these people have to go through. It really, really would suck. And I'm going to tell you this. Don't talk to your doctors too much about stuff because they're just not going to get it. Your general practitioners, and they're not qualified to get it. The NSA, the CIA, the DOD is more qualified than your general practitioner. Trust me. Okay? So anyway, I hope you enjoyed my video trying to break it down for psychic, medium, and schizophrenia. Thin line differences. All right, people, hang in there. It's all going to be okay. Vibrate on the highest level you can. All right? I love y'all, my star seeds. I just want to say peace. Until next time, live life, enjoy Christ like Christ speed.